So now it's January 2023, which means we're ready for the market updates for December 2022. Let's face it, it's been a wild ride over the past 3 years in real estate here in Steamboat. And the past year has seen some big swings in momentum. Sometimes it's not so easy to see when first glancing at the numbers, which is why I want to drill down on some of the stats and provide some context. Let's first start off with the main indicators as a baseline. Again, these are year-over-year numbers. The median sales price has jumped up 24% to $928,292 from last year's $750,000. The number of sales has been slashed by more than half. The 42 sales we saw in December was 54% off of the 91 sales from December 2021. And sales volume is off 39%, so it's sitting at around 55.3 million when it was close to 91 million 12 months ago. So the sales aren't there, yet the sales price is up. Yet, looking out at long-term at prices, they've been trending upwards since about 2016 and more sharply in, you guessed it, the past 3 years. What is up with sales? Well, we have to look at inventory to get a better picture of supply and demand. In December, the median number of days on market went from 7 days the year before to 55, which is a 686% increase. Homes are taking longer to sell, and anyone driving around town are seeing those real estate signs being hiked up over snowdrifts. And we didn't have that last year for 2 reasons. 1, the snow is much higher than the last season, and 2, the signs didn't stay out for very long last season. Combine this with the month supply of inventory going from 1.3 months to 2.5 months, and you see demand has taken a hit from last year. But remember, 6 months is generally viewed as a balanced market where both sides have equal leverage on each other. We're still quite away from that. We see demand has dropped, but what about supply? Well, for new listings, we saw a 1/3 increase going from 39 to 55. So a year-over-year increase in new listings. Well, that must be the dagger in the heart of the real estate market, right? This is what we've been anticipating, haven't we? Well, it's a little bit more complex than that. Here is a graph of new listings over the course of 5 years. You can see that there's a substantial drop-off coming out of the summer and into the winter, and the new listings begin to spike at around the end of 1 year or the beginning of the next. And the key word there is around. There's no exact point. Sometimes it happens in December. Sometimes it happens as late as March. Even in 2020, it started happening in December 2019 and then got halted by COVID and then shot right back up. The key element is when you can't pin it down to a specific month, the season spike begins. Then there will be discrepancies in year-over-year listings. The seasonal bottom hit in November of 2022 and was the lowest we have seen since our MLS kept electronic records. Looking into our value indicators, we see the sales to list price ratio, how a home sells in relation to its list price, drop from 100% to 96.5%. This is a reduction to the mean after over a year and a half of record levels close to at or above 100%. And price per square foot moved up 7% to $578 a foot. After years of steadily increasing price per square foot and a big spike during COVID, it's essentially remained flat for the past 5 months. Price reductions are up 25 from 11 just a year ago. And that's not a surprise because of the increase in days on market. When homes linger on the market, it makes sense to incentivize a buyer. And while we're seeing sellers come off their price, the baseline for prices is much higher than it used to be. Sellers might think that they are losing money when in reality they're making money, just not as much as they could have 6 months ago. So looking ahead, pending listings are down 26% to 35 from 47. However, the pendings are up slightly from the month before, which would make sense considering there just happen to be more active listings now. Active listings overall are up 23% to 158. Makes sense? New listings coming on and not selling as quickly, and older listings still not yet under contract. So what does this mean overall for the market? It means we are getting back to what we would probably be considered as normal in the market, if there is such a thing. The manic pace of real estate we saw from May 2020 on has slowed, but it is not in a downward spiral. Interest rates certainly put a temporary damper on demand, but people will still want to buy. They're not just going to get to themselves into the emotional bidding wars that we saw in late 2021 and early 2022. And as we approach what almost everybody expects is an upcoming recession, take heed that in every recent recession, mortgage rates have gone down. So if you have been thinking about selling and you want to know how all of this will affect your potential price and selling timeline, contact me at 970-846-0797 or at johnjames@jamesteamsteamboat.com, or you could even leave a comment under this video. Until next time, take care.